Okay, I am now recording this. So welcome everybody to this is the Illuminating Women Let's Play Zoom. So we're going to do this webinar on Zoom on how to be a good participant, as well as how to be a good host. So the first step is we're wanting to be able to whether or not you can see the screen. And as you're looking at your screen, near the bottom of your computer, you're going to have your Zoom controls. This is how it looks when you're on a laptop. If you're on an iPad or a smartphone, you kind of have to tap your screen, and controls similar to this are going to show up. Controls similar to this are going to show up. Oh, looks like we want is everybody muted? There we go. In this lower corner is the mute button. And when you click on it, it'll have a little X through it. Next to it is a little stop video, start video. If you don't want to be on video, you put a little X through this, or you click on your stop video and it will turn off your video so nobody can see you. One thing to be aware of if you're talking, and if people are saying, oh, we can't hear you, can't hear you, notice that when you're talking, this little mute microphone will go green, and the green line will go up and down and up and down. And that will tell you whether or not your computer can hear you. If that green is going up and down, but people can't hear you, then their computer is where the problem most likely lies. So that's those little sound systems. This little up arrowy thing, when you click it, and you can do that now while we're doing this, when you click it, it will give you the options for your microphone and speakers, and it will tell you the select a microphone. It'll tell you whether it's the same as system, or if it's your built-in microphone, your internal microphone. If you have like earbuds set in and connected to your phone, they might show up there. Or if you plug in a headset, it might show up there. So your microphone is where you'll be talking. Your speakers is what's going to be coming back at you. And so that little up arrow will tell you, it will also give you an option to test your speakers. So that's a good troubleshooting bit. And usually the troubleshooting that happens is a lot of times within those audio settings. So I'm going to stop my screen share so that you can all see me again. And looks like there's a little bit of chat in there. So every so often I'm going to go and check the chat. I'm not going to check it immediately, but let's go in. This is when using PPT, can you fill the screen with each side, or do you have to show all the sides in the sidebar? All the slides in the side. Oh, I could change it, but then that would make it so that I have less control over my computer, because right now I have dual monitor. And so I'm not going to be talking about how to do presentations in this. I just am not able to show you your controls visually. So that's what I use that one for. So the next little adventure that we get to go on is the speaker view versus gallery view. So when we're looking at a Zoom screen as a participant, we have two different ways. One is a bunch of little boxes, and one is the big box of somebody talking, and the little boxes up near the top. So when we're in, and this is a weird thing with Zoom, but everybody look in your upper right corner, and it might be different for those of you on smartphones, and I don't actually remember how that works. So I think Nikki and Sherry are both on smart devices, so this would apply to you. Everybody else is on laptop, and so this is how it works on a laptop that I know of. In the upper right corner, it'll either say speaker view or gallery view, or it will be full screen. And so you have two choices here. In the speaker view, when it says speaker view, it's actually in gallery view, and you'll see a bunch of little squares like the Brady Bunch. When you click on it where it says speaker view, it will turn into actual speaker view. And depending on whether or not you're full screen, it might have It might leave the speaker view and have just a little 9 square thing for you to click on that will turn you back into gallery view. And then you can exit full screen, enter full screen, and it will look differently. Whatever your settings are, see, I've been changing my settings back and forth, and you'll probably see it in the recording, but you're not seeing it now as participants because it only applies to how I'm doing the way I want to see it. So go ahead and play around with it so that you can see it how you want to. The other thing to be aware of is as I'm talking, if you are having your Zoom on speaker view, I'll be big and front and in your face because I'm talking. If Jill were to start talking louder than me, then she'll be big and front and in your face and talking. And it will just cycle through whoever is the loudest. And so sometimes that's the speaker and sometimes that's the dog in the background. Let's say that I'm giving this presentation and you really only want to see me. You can hover your little mouse over my little square and click on the 3 dots, and that will allow you to pin the video, and that will pin me in place, and I will stay in place. You can also mute your audio, stop your video, you could rename yourself. You can also hide yourself in that little instruction. So Nikki and Sherry, because you have smart devices, were those instructions helpful on your ends? If so, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. Thumbs down, thumbs down. And a so-so with Nikki. So I'll have, I'm gonna unmute Nikki because she's on an iPad. What do you see as far as those instructions? Oh, there you go.
The instructions on the iPad were in the top left corner, not the top
left
right.
corner. Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I think it was about the same as what you were saying.
Okay. Okay.
And now I put you all in gallery view.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, the iPad's a much bigger screen. I'm going to mute you and go back to Sherry. Sherry, what kind of device are you on? Oh, let's see. Muting and unmuting is tough. You might have to unmute on your side. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
I can. So what kind of device have you got, Sherry?
I don't have anything at the top like you were talking about. I have an iPhone.
Okay. Okay, and when you tap the middle of the screen, do you get any sort of controls?
Just down at the bottom.
At the bottom, and what controls do you have down at the bottom?
Let's see, I have mute, stop video, share contact, participants, and more.
Okay, and I'm not sure whether or not the iPhone can go into gallery view or if it has to just be speaker view because it's such a smaller device. That's a thing I'm not entirely sure.
I don't usually do it on my iPhone. I usually do it on my iPad, but I couldn't get it to
It didn't feel like it? Okay.
So I'm working on that while I'm listening to you.
Got it, got it. Okay, so it looks like Brooke has an iPhone too. Let's unmute you, Brooke, and see what you say as far as the differences with the iPhone.
It was just exactly what Sherry said.
Okay.
And
okay.
Don't have any kind of gallery view.
Okay, good to know, good to know. All right, so we've got that, and then it looks like OnePlus has raised her hand, so that brings us on to this raising of your hand, which is super fun. In your own little square, you can, where you can change your video and you can do that kind of stuff, you can raise your hand. So OnePlus, and I forgot what your actual name was.
Judy.
Is that June?
Judy.
Judy. Okay.
And I raised my punching different keys. So mine is just a smartphone, and
okay.
I don't see if you can join the chat thing. My phone, when I touch my screen, there's an option besides the in video and shows where I can hide and
Okay.
So
you'll have, yeah, you probably don't have gallery view, and your audio is cutting in and out a little bit, so that could be just simply being on the regular speakers on the phone instead of like a headphone. I'm going to go ahead and mute you again. Go ahead and get you on mute. There you are. There we go. So the raising of the hand, I don't do that too much, but that is a thing that you can do in groups where they'll raise hand and lower hands. I'm going to lower Judy's hand, but we're not going to actually get into that one. So next up, let's see what you got, Dream, is the chat, which so far Jill has been managing our chat. Chat is also near the bottom of the laptop people, and I believe the iPad and the iPhones, they both have at somewhere a chat feature, although getting to it is probably going to be a little bit more difficult, where you can chat back and forth. And that's really helpful when there's an audio problem. I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to talk about the login link, because the login link is kind of the end all be all of how to get connected. So you may be familiar with this login link right here. This is what tells the internet where to go. So I want to think of your Zoom account as your Zoom properties. Your Zoom property, that's where you live on the internet. And this is your address. Now here it's on Zoom server. So this zoom.us part of the link, that's because it's on Zoom's server. You're in, Zoom's great big condoplex, right? And this other number here is the actual address that we're in. It's the actual room we're in. And I like to consider this number, it's my own personal ID. It's my primary address. So I might have a shed out in the back, and I might have another outbuilding or a barn or a horse stall or something, rather, with different addresses, but this is my primary one. I'm mentioning the other rooms because that's going to come important when we're talking about setting up a room when you're going to host a Zoom account. Okay, so now this little link is very important. This link, when you have an account, depending on your settings and you want to host a meeting, that link can change depending on your settings. So our next little adventure is to go in and set it up so that when you host a meeting, you know exactly what link to give people. Because if I'm on this room, which this room is number 715-952-9337, and you guys, I give you the link to the wrong room, we're not going to connect. And that's one of the most common reasons that you're not able to get on to the right room, is someone's on their room and gave out the wrong link. And I'm going to show you now how that can easily happen. So let me get that. Not able to go into a lot of the Zoom settings while I'm on a Zoom call. So we're remoting into my imaginary friend here. This is Tessa, and she's got a Zoom account. And so we've got our little Zoom symbol guy down here, and he'll bring up this, where we've got a new meeting, a join a meeting, share screen schedule. And this is in the home tab. So if you open up your little Zoom and you get something different, generally it's because you're on one of these other tabs. And so you just go to home and you'll have these. We're going to go into settings. And this is probably the first thing that you want to do when you set up a Zoom account, especially if you're wanting to be a host. So we're going into settings, and we're going to go into our more settings. And luckily we're recording this, so this is the part that everybody actually wants to know. So this more settings will open up a tab in your browser with your Zoom settings. So we can close this big window that's in the way. And now this is the back end of a Zoom account with the settings. And here it may take you to profile, and it may take you to settings, however it goes. We're going to start with profile. This is your meeting room. Now notice this here, this 23172777439. This is Tessa's imaginary meeting room. And here, if I go into, to edit, use personal meeting ID for instant meetings. When this is checked, and then hit Save Settings. So it says check, use this ID for instant meetings. Then when I go here and I click New Meeting, it will use this link. If I don't have this checked, it will use a different link. It'll give you, the address to the barn in the back. It'll give you the address to the horse stall. It'll give you the address to your shed. It won't give you your actual meeting. And so we want to make sure that we give this information to our people. And that's the information, that's where we are when we open up. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody.
Can I add something real quick? That's
Yes.
yeah, that's super useful if you have if you're having private calls with people and you don't want people just randomly coming in, right?
And we're going to get to that too,
Okay.
because we're balancing our ease of use and our privacy. So I like to have this set to be always for instant meetings for the ease of use factor. If you're wanting to be private, I'm going to show you that next. Because when we hit this little down arrow, you can decide to do your different settings and do a different number. But also here also allows you to copy your information or your ID, which gives you this link that you can send to people. Because you can schedule a meeting, let's bring that back. You can schedule a meeting and send out an email and do all that stuff, but all they really need is this link. You can send people just this link, and it will go through the process of getting them connected to the right room. So the next setting is, we'll go into these main settings. Here you can decide whether or not you want your video on, and you want your people's video on when they start, or if they have to manually do that. That's personal preferences. If you have the free account, it will automatically want to do computer audio. If you have audio difficulties, sometimes you can call in, but your person has to have a professional account right now to do that. And then your invitation would also include phone numbers to call. That's kind of we're not working on that too much right now. Here, when you schedule a meeting, right now mine is set. If I were to go down here and hit schedule, it'll schedule a meeting using a different ID number. So I want to go in and click this so it uses my same personal ID meeting. And then you have the option to whether or not you want to require a password. This will also make things private for you, but you want to make sure that you're giving them the right password. So I turn this one off just to lower the level of complexity for some of your people to get connected. And then once you decide to get a little bit more restrictive, you can change those. Leave this one on, this password embedded, so in case you do want to use a password, they can just click on the link instead of having to know a password. And then there's a whole lot of other settings that you might want to go through and look at as far as those are concerned. So next up, when you're creating a new meeting, you just click this guy. And now you see the back of my head because the other computer's back here. It'll give you the option to join with your computer audio. And you can click this, and then from now on, it will always join with your computer audio. We're probably going to get a little bit of feedback until I mute myself. So now it's using my computer audio, and it's a big obnoxious mess. So we're gonna mute me here. But here is where those settings are. And if you connect something to your computer, Zoom should read it. And then we're gonna go ahead and then also, I'm gonna close this. Notice up here is the actual meeting ID. Oops, let me move that. So we wanna make sure that that's the meeting ID that you gave your people. And if your people wanted to join that meeting, this 231 meeting, where I'm going to close this, I'm going to end the meeting. You hit join, you can enter that number in here. And then this here is also a place where you're going to have your name. So for those of you who want your name to be something other than what it is, you can change it here. when you join a meeting. So I'm going to stop the share, and that will go back to me. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot on my presentation. I think we're ready for questions. Yep, invite to meeting. Okay, yes, let's go ahead and get some questions going. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you and call on you so that everybody has a chance. And Mary, will go ahead and start with you. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Very helpful. I think I have a grasp of the basics, but you covered a couple places where I get tripped up. One
Okay.
thing that I would like to do is change how I've listed my name in my profile. And for some reason that's grayed out. I can't go back and change it. I have to change it every meeting.
So in your settings, I guess I didn't get to that part. Let me go find it and see if I can show it. And hitting edit, is it not letting you change it from here?
No, it won't let me.
Okay.
Is it because I have the free account? I mean,
You should be able to call yourself what you want. It's possible, although not likely, because you're on a call right now. That might be something that we would have to troubleshoot together a little bit.
okay.
Because that's where you should be to be able to do it.
Okay.
Sure. Next, Jill, did you have any questions?
No, but I do definitely the hosting of the meeting part. I may have to have a private session with you because I seem to still kind of make mistakes there because I want to be able to have privacy, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. And so I want to figure out how to do that. So just know.
Yeah, you're right. That was one thing that I missed on my demonstration here. Let me go back to that. Share this. Share. Let's go back to my hosting of a meeting because I have to be a little tricky here. So here we're going to host. Tessa's going to host another imaginary meeting with Nicole. And let's mute Nicole. Okay, so here Tessa at the back of Nicole's head is hosting the meeting. And so when I hover down under these participants, there's a couple things that you can do. There would be a list. Unfortunately, I can't show you the list of participants, but here is where you have the opportunity to mute all, unmute all, and then there's more where you can lock the meeting, and that will prevent anyone else from joining. Once you've got all your people with you, then you can lock that meeting. You can decide whether or not you want to play and enter, whether or not you want your people to rename themselves. You can mute them on entry. One thing that's a bummer, and I don't know why they did it this way, is if you want to have people not be on video, you have to do them one at a time to turn off their videos. I haven't found a turn everybody's video off, and that might be just a setting that I haven't found yet because it's not quite as intuitive as I want it to be. I think that manage participants. I don't have enough people on this imaginary call. I guess I could invite someone to the imaginary call and see how it works, but I think I'm going to just end that meeting and stop the share. End the meeting and stop the share. But as the host, you do have the capability of muting and unmuting people.
And Nicole, because it's so important that when you do meetings like this, because especially if they mute in the video, because you may be talking and presenting, and if they didn't mute themselves or something, then all of a sudden their picture shows up. And so,
right,
being able to get that mute button is really important to keep you directly in the main screen of the gallery.
Yeah, and if you're recording, so here this recording, and then the recording's might be a little bit strange when we do this, but when you're recording, if you pin yourself, and I'm going to show here, pin video, it'll keep yourself up if other people get all mutey or unmutey or whatever, and it'll keep you in the forefront. I usually go on gallery view, so it doesn't seem to be too much of a trouble. Okay, next, Lisa, did you have any questions?
Not yet, but I've learned a lot so far. Thank you.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. That's the goal. Okay, and Matilda, you came in a little bit late, but I'll let you know if any questions that you're asking I've already covered, but go ahead and unmute yourself if you got any questions. Oh, that's not. I'll go ahead and unmute you.
Yeah?
There you go. There you
Okay.
are.
Yeah, here I am. This is a good review for me from yesterday. So thank you so much. I don't have any question. I will try to do the host. I'm sorry. I have a phone call right now that I need
Okay,
to
bye.
answer.
So Matilda and I, we did a one-on-one session, and I'm offering that to anybody where we can do a private session so that we can talk about your specific situation. And let me go ahead and I'm going to put that link in the chat. Sorry for the pause here.
And also talk about when you record these, how it gives you two options to record to the computer and to the cloud, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes. Oh, and I spelled introduction wrong, so it didn't go to the right place. INTRODUCT. How do you spell introduction? Page not found. There we go. Okay, the first link is wrong. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Jill. Someday I'm going to learn how to spell, but it's not a real big priority for me right now. Okay, so that link, you can schedule a free Zoom training with me for your specific stuff, because some of you are going to be on the higher tech side, and some of you are even going to be on the lower tech side, and some of you who are watching this on the recording might not be on the tech at all. And so I'm happy to schedule time to do a one-on-one training. Let's see, next on my list that I can see, Maureen, did you have a question?
Okay, I do have a question. How do we get our photo in the box when we're not on video?
Photo in the box when you're not on video, it's part of that, that
Profile.
setting. Profile, okay. Yeah, so here we'll go to this screen share. And so here when we're in our settings, and more settings, it opens up the browser window and profile, and it should be here. You should be able to choose a picture and upload it.
Okay, great. Now, is this available for the free setting or the free version also?
It should be, because this is a free version. Let's see what pictures I have on this computer. Oh, isn't that cute?
That is cute.
It definitely
Ooh.
is.
Oh, there we go. It's an email icon. That's pretty cute. Oh, it's not a JPEG. So it's got to be the right kind of image. I didn't pick the right kind. I picked a magical, different kind of image. Not sure if that's a JPEG or not. There are some restrictions, but that would be how you do it.
Perfect, thank you.
So yeah. Okay, next. Nikki, did you have any questions? Let me unmute you. Yeah.
No, I don't have any questions right now, but I'm thinking of one for later.
Okay.
But I don't want to get you off topic.
Okay, well, you have your questions, and then you and I will talk.
Okay.
Okay. How about you, Karen? Karen, did you have any questions?
Yes. What is the difference between the free version and I think there's a premium version, or maybe there's other versions? Could you explain that? I'm not sure.
Yes. So the difference between the free and the paid, and I'm going to just talk about the first two. The free version will give you the ability to host meetings and join meetings, and And you can do a one-on-one join and host meetings for as long as you want. So you and I, Karen, we could get together and we could talk all day on Zoom. As soon as we bring Jill in, if we want, 3 or more people, you can only do it for 40 minutes. And so after 40 minutes, Zoom is going to cut you off. I have heard that Zoom has been extending people's time a little bit on that 40 minutes, and they'll offer that when they offer it. The workaround right now is to either, pay as a host. And because I'm a host, you and I and Jill and Nikki and Lugitha and everybody can all be on here as long as we want to, because I'm paying for it and I'm the host. One workaround for the free version, those of you who want more than 40-minute meetings with all your people, after about 35 minutes, everybody hop off, turn the call off, turn the call on, everybody hop back on and keep partying. Any other questions, Karen?
That's all for now. I'm sure they'll do more, but thanks.
Okay. And then, names are hard. The Julie or Judy, who's my 1+7? Judy. Okay, I got the J part right. I will get it. I'm going to write it down. Judy. Okay, Judy, did you have any questions?
No, the question I had was just the one that was asked about the free versus the paid.
Okay.
I think I just have to before I have any real questions.
Okay. That sounds good. And again, I sent out that link. Feel free to schedule with me and we can do more one-on-one questions.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Lisa. Lisa, okay.
I have a question. Can you show us how to make ourselves look better?
Oh yeah, the look better thing. I forgot about the look better thing. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So here, when you have joined a meeting, oh, I got to share my screen. Sorry about this, people. Let's do the share screen and share. Oh, sorry, wrong share. Stop share, desktop 2. And share. This is what you want. Okay, so here we have the imaginary Nicole back of her head. Let's see if we can make the back of Nicole's head look better. There is our control. So the back of my head, Nicole, is on a PC, and that means the controls sometimes hide. And so you just need to move your mouse down. And to make yourself look better, you go to our little up arrow on the video settings, and there's a little thing called touch up my appearance. And in theory, it'll make us look so much better. So we've got that clicked, and I don't know if we have to save that or if it automatically, looks like it automatically does its thing. The other thing that you can do to make yourself look better is to make sure you have lights coming at you, which they're coming the wrong way for the back of Nicole's head. So let's unshare that. All right, so we were next at Lugitha. Did you have any questions? Let's see, I'll unmute you.
I got it.
There we go. There you go. I can hear you now.
I'm good for now. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, and Whitney, I'm not sure if we were able to get your sound working. So if you wanted to type in the chat any questions, or do we want to try your sound again? Whitney is good. Okay. And Whitney, feel free to schedule with me because we can do some audio troubleshooting if you want to do that. Okay, Brooke, did you have any questions?
I'm good. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, did I get everybody? Because y'all kind of jumped around a little bit. Let's see, and Judy, did you have a question? Because you did the hand raising thing again.
No, I'm just playing around, and apparently, I don't have to touch the words in order for it to select it. I'm just off in the white space and moving my screen, and it pushes the hand raise.
That's pretty cool.
No, it's kind of annoying. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe we will get together and we'll talk about how that one works. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and
Nicole,
mute
real
every-
quick, what I found
Yeah.
is on my phone, I had the hand raising ability, but on my PC, I do not.
On your PC, it's much more hidden.
Where is it hidden?
It is in when you go to manage participants and you go to yourself, you're able to raise your hand. So let's go into my.
I'm doing it and I don't see it. All I see is the microphone and it says just name and rename is the only thing I get. And
Okay, how about on your square, the 3 little dots?
the 3 little dots, same thing. It just says mute, stop video, rename, pin video, hide self.
Huh. Now I'm a host, so I can't raise my hand. Does anybody else have the hand raisey?
I
Yes.
went over to participants and clicked on it and see the variety of, I think I only show 5 participants, but on there is the option to raise hand. You see
Okay,
my
you
hand
hover
raised
over
now?
it. Yeah, Karen's hand is raised.
Okay,
So
and then I can lower it.
Jill, look all the way down at the bottom. Like, so when you click on participants and there's all the people, then keep going, looking all the way down at the bottom.
There it is.
Yay, all the way down at the bottom. Yeah,
Way to go.
that's
Thank you.
the drawback from being host and not host.
So, and is my hand raised right now? Because I don't see it on my screen.
Your hand, it is raised and it shows up for me as a blue little hand thingy. And so I can now lower your hand.
This is so important. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
it's very cool. It's a harder thing to teach people. So yeah, it looks like Jill, I can lower your hand and call on you. So yeah, if you guys want to look for your hand raisey, go ahead and raise your hand. Looks like Maureen raised her hand, Lisa raised her hand, Maureen put her hand down, Whitney's raising, Nikki's raising, Levita's raising. Look at you all, you're overwhelming.
Can I ask a question? This is
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
Because you guys made me think of it when we were talking about raising the hands. I've been in meetings before when someone's taken a poll. Can you do that? I mean, is that something that I just upgraded from the free version. Is that something you can do in the premium?
I have never tried.
Okay.
So I believe that is a feature. And I know that other platforms can do it and some to easy. I've seen some where it's like create a poll.
Yeah,
it's
there
super
might be,
easy.
Because isn't there a level above premium even called like webinar or something?
Yeah.
Maybe it's only in that. I don't know. Okay.
It could be. And it's definitely above what I
Okay.
generally teach.
Well, I think it's interesting because Sharon Huckleberry just joined and she just upgraded hers because she's the one that's doing the Zumba. And one of the things, Sharon, that Nicole just taught that I thought would be fabulous is that when you're doing Zumba, you can lock it in that it's only you on the screen. So when people come in, they get muted and you're locked in, so only see you.
Yeah, okay.
That works for you. So like if I pin myself or if I pin Sharon, that's how I see it. At the same time, Jill can pin Sharon or Jill can pin Maureen. So your individual, your viewer gets to decide. But when you're recording, so Sharon, if you were to record yours and pin yourself, that recording would be up there in your way.
All right, thank you. I wish I could, I apologize, I couldn't get on. It's been slammed here. So lots going on. Yeah.
All good. Yeah, and you're popping on actually reminded me because Jill sent me that link that for your Zoom qualities, you've got several elements, and those elements, I said that text to you, Jill. You've got your internet connection is an element. If you have a sucky internet connection, sorry. Rebooting your router will improve your internet connection. Calling and yelling at Comcast could improve your internet connection. You have minimal control over your internet connection, but you have some. Your next control is the bandwidth of the computer you're using. So if you've got all of your tabs open and all of your programs open and everything running in the background, your Zoom quality is going to suffer. So the best thing to do is to shut all that down. even shutting that down, your computer could have like little fiddly bits in the background, you know, like Christmas morning when you've unwrapped all your presents and you put them away. But if you're wrapping paper lists all over the living room, it's going to make it hard to walk to the living room. So you got to close down all those things. So sometimes a reboot is necessary to just kind of give your computer a fresh start, so that your computer quality is as good as it can be, your internet quality as good as it can be. Then your next element is you are at the mercy of Zoom's servers, which right now are overloaded, but they are doing a fabulous job of just making things actually happen still. So that's super great. The other thing that you don't have much control over is your viewer's computer, because they have their own internet that may or may not suck. They may have their computer that may be overloaded with all their programs on and running in the background, or they may need a reboot. They may need to, do their computer updates for Microsoft and whatnot. So those are a lot of factors that you're going to have to be aware of in the quality of your Zoom show. And here, I'll go on speaker view because I forget the recording is going to be there. And so we're going to have all these gallery view things because I like to see all the people as I talk. But so there's that. And I think that's really just the gist of everything that I've got that matters. There's a ton of other little sneaky things that can be done with that. And again, I invite you all to just schedule some time with me. Grab that link, because as soon as I turn as soon as I end the call, that chat window will be gone for a bit. I will get the recording to Jill and she'll post it on the YouTube or wherever, and that will include that link. In what I do, I've always included Zoom training as part of my discovery session, because sometimes that's really the barrier for everybody to really get the most out of dealing with their computer. All right, Jill, you have the floor now.
Nicole, I cannot, ladies, can we just say a huge thank you, and just like the, because
thank you, Nicole.
Yeah, just to have this training is important, because right now life is changing, and this we're connecting and meeting with one another. And so I just really want to say thank you. And thank you for offering this complimentary. Thank you for offering complimentary discovery calls with people. But at the same time, we have to support each other and the businesses. And so who do you know? Who do you know that might be struggling, that could, especially right now, could use some help with Nicole, and, help line her coffers a little bit to help, family. And
I do charge for some things, yeah.
Yes, you do charge for some things, and we are at a different time. So I want to thank everybody during this time with Illuminating Women. We are a women's connecting group here to really support each other through education, empowerment, encouragement. So stay tuned to the website. We are now going to be more quarantined for a little bit longer. I'll be reaching out to all of the members, offering opportunities to do these coffee break chats and workshops to dive a little bit deeper. Maureen is going to be our next workshop that we will be doing on Friday, next Friday at 10. And don't forget to check in tomorrow at 10. And that now that I know I didn't do things right to set up for tomorrow's Zoom call. Thank you, Nicole. And this is you and I have to have that greater chat, because Vicki Draper is going to be on there to talk about our animals, because let's just face it, people, our animals are feeling our stress, they're feeling our emotions, and when things get back to normal, they will react, and we want to be prepared and help them, and Vicki's excellent at doing that. It's a 15-20 minute chat. She's going to talk over a couple of things, and at the end of these conversations, and sometimes at the beginning, we want to make certain that everybody is doing okay, and if you don't, reach out to me privately. We have a sisterhood, and it might be just doing a one-on-one Zoom or a phone call or one of those things. And so I'm so anxious for Maureen. It's not what she's doing is such a necessary thing. And right now we, with the numbers of people with uncertainty of life, it's more important than ever that we have these conversations. And that's why these workshops have been brought in at this period in time to deal with what we're dealing with. And so Nicole, please keep on the member directory will be coming out soon. As you got your emails from Sharon, please fill out that information so that we can reach out to our membership. And thank you. We are right just a little bit over the hour. We said this was for an hour. Nicole, is there any last things you want to share or say?
Nope, I'm good. This was tons of fun, and I've been having a lot of fun getting people on to Zoom. It's been a blast.
Okay, and hopefully everybody here does know how to do share screen. If you do not, this would be the time to ask, because that was one of the things. Everybody know how to share a screen.
Raise your hand if you want me to demonstrate screen share.
Yeah. Oh, I guess, see, there is. There's one more thing.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mary.
Okay, so here, now this is a little tough. I'm going to try to get it. I'll get it on my imaginary friend here. So this is this is going to be, I'm going to share a screen in a screen. How about that? So it's sharing. Okay, so here I am sharing my screen with the back of my head, the imaginary Nicole. And let me just kind of X out of this little guy. That doesn't need to be open. So see this little green arrow, you'll have that at the bottom. When you click on screen share, it's going to give you several options. You can show just a Google window, or you can do whiteboard or phone or whatever. I always do the full screen, and it's usually in this upper left corner. If you have two screens, if you're like a dual monitor, it'll say desktop 1 and desktop 2. But you go ahead and you just click on them, and then you click share, and then you'll be sharing your desktop with the world, and it'll give you this little stop share. You could also pause your share. Let's say you want to keep sharing your screen, but you don't want them to see as you look up your password. I probably should have done that while I was fiddling with PowerPoint, so that you didn't see that I didn't quite get that figured out. But this stop share will unshare your screen. One thing you want to be aware of is as you're sharing your screen, so we click that, notice this green line around the share, that tells you what you're sharing. So I'm sharing all this stuff. What I could have done if I wanted to, stop this share. I've got 2 stop shares on my screen. I could just share the Zoom. So this will just share the Zoom window. So notice here how this Zoom window is green. That's the thing that I'm sharing. And it'll still share that if it's big or if it's little. If I change the size of it, my people are not going to see these icons back here, because this green screen here is what's being shared. So that's super useful. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to stop my share completely. And I'll stop Tessa's share.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Is there any last questions at all? Everybody good? All right. And I will be getting that information, and this video will be on the Illuminating Women YouTube channel. So, all right.
Yep.
Thank you. Stay healthy, stay safe. And Maureen?
Oh, I just wanted to say thanks to Nicole. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's always so informative with you.
It is.
Thank you. It's my favorite thing.
Well, all right. We'll see some of you back tomorrow at 10 o'clock for a quick coffee break chat. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Nicole. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.